welcome back to Demigod Debut. I'm Mal, Piper appreciator and longtime Percy Jackson fan.
And I'm Julie, Percy Jackson newbie, and girl who can't believe Mal got her to read this many books.
Yep, here we are. And this is a podcast about Julie reading The Lost Hero for the first time, and the last time, because we're done. This is the last episode. Crazy, can't believe we've done this. We are joined this week by DJ and Darien from Muses of Mythology. Hello.
Hi.
I get top billing. Ha ha ha. Hi guys, how you doing?
This is so important when we are on other people's podcasts to let your listeners know that DJ and I are siblings. And that's the energy you're going to be picking up on, because people can make misassumptions about the nature of our relationship, which could lead them into thinking, oh no, this is a toxic relationship. These people are in trouble. No, we're just siblings.
No,
it's totally fine.
That's how it is. It's not even the worst sibling relationship I have.
Jesus Christ.
Love that.
But yeah, that's just like, oh, let me just real quick, because DJ being like, haha, I got top billing. That could read as pretty aggressive if you don't know the vibe. Hi, yes.
Listen, on my screen, DJ is on the left and Darien is on the right, so I just like win in reading order.
and that's fine. And that's fine. Thank you so much for having us. DJ loves The Lost Hero.
I do. It's a big. Here's the thing. I'm a Heroes of Olympus stan. It's not his best work, and arguably it is his worst work. I'm not going to lie. But that doesn't mean I don't like it, and I will defend it.
That's
honestly.
If I feel like there's an overly large amount of like just hate towards it, I will be like, it's not that bad, guys. Settle down.
No, valid.
That's so fair.
So do you both want to start us off by telling us about your Demigod debuts, or how you both were introduced to Percy Jackson?
Yeah, I remember the first time I saw a Percy Jackson book, and I was on a public bus, which is a big deal because we're from Idaho and we just don't have casual public transit like that. But I was going to a women's fun run with my mother, and there was this tween girl in the aisle in front of us reading a book, and it was Percy Jackson and the Titan's Curse. I remember the cover. And my mom likes to make small talk with everybody. So she's like, oh, what book are you reading? And this girl's like, it's about Greek mythology. Darien, you love Greek mythology. You should go get that at your library. And then I didn't for a year.
Classic.
Then that was when I was in 7th grade. And then I was in 8th grade. And in 8th grade, we had a reading challenge where 8th graders throughout the state of Idaho were going to vote on their very favorite books. But you had to read 3 books in the category in order to be able to do that. And I was like, well, I'm definitely going to vote for City of Bones by Cassandra Clare because Shadowhunters is my very favorite thing right now. But I guess I'll read this Percy Jackson thing as well so I can get in on this.
And the rest is history.
And that's when I read Percy Jackson for the first time.
Incredible.
Yeah, I think I was in 4th grade, maybe 3rd grade. Darien's the one who got me in them. Whenever she started, shortly thereafter, I started reading them. And so I read up through, I think, Battle, maybe Last Olympian in like 5th grade. And then I stopped. And then I tried to pick it back up for Lost Hero and like Heroes of Olympus for in like freshman year. And then I stopped again. And then senior year, I have just had a class that was called like Reader's Choice. And it literally was an hour and a half of us sitting in a classroom reading. And so I'm like, I guess I'll just start reading these again. And so, yeah, then I read through all the way up through the 2nd book after Hidden Oracle. I always forget the name.
Dark Prophecy.
Dark Prophecy. But yeah.
Amazing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for bringing this sibling energy to our finale of The Lost Hero.
Wonderful, yes. We're back at camp where all the siblings are, so it makes sense.
Yes. All right. Are we ready to get into our chapters?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Excellent. We got 52 through 56, aka the end of the book. And we started off with chapter 52, which is a Piper chapter. The last thing that happened, they had just kind of been teleported back to camp by Hera and had landed on the Aphrodite table. So they are telling camp what happened, answering questions till Chiron notices how tired they are and sends them to bed, and Piper crashes immediately and wakes up to Drew standing over her bed telling her she has to clean for cabin inspection. Piper then, of course, laughs in her face and decides to challenge Drew. And she's nice enough to say that Drew can choose the weapons. And so she then spots Mitchell and Lacey and says, oh, I missed you guys. We're going to have such a great time together when I'm head counselor. I love her for this.
She's great.
Oh, this is great. This is peak. This is my favorite Piper moment of the whole book.
this is fighting Mean Girl with Mean Girl, and sometimes you have to do that.
Like Mean Girls the movie versus Mean Girl in terms of like war god.
Yes.
She's not being catty here. She's like, I will overpower you and I will take your position.
Yeah, it's like if Regina George tried to fight actual Athena. Like, it's just not
Yeah.
happening, babe. Sorry, you can't verbal bully your
Athena's
way
like,
out of this
take your
one.
catty bullshit, dude.
Yeah,
Are you
you
kidding
have
me?
no power here anymore.
Yeah, and you've completed 0 quests.
0.
Which, like, that's kind of what she says. She's like, I've completed 1 more quest than you. Like, I can definitely challenge you for this position. And my question here is, why do we not count the Battle of Manhattan as a quest? Because I feel like it should count.
I think you need a prophecy.
Yeah,
That's
for
what makes it a
quests
quest.
you need a prophecy. The Battle of Manhattan was a group thing. That's not a quest.
It's a group project.
Okay, yeah, fair, I guess. I don't know. I'm just like, oh, okay, so we don't count the, like, actual war as
right?
highly as we count these quests? Sure, okay,
Well,
great.
a war's not a quest. I'm sorry. That's just, it's not.
You're just following directions. You're not doing a lot of creative problem solving.
Exactly.
All right.
I get the sentiment, though.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think, here's the thing, though. I think if it was another character, they'd be more inclined to be like, yeah, you had a quest. Where were you at the Battle of Manhattan? But I don't know if Drew was at the Battle of Manhattan.
I don't believe she would ever turn up.
I mean, that is fair.
We are certified. I am a certified Drew hater. I don't like this. She shows up in Kane Chronicles, and that was crazy.
Oh, yes. I've never read the Kane Chronicles.
y'all
and at this
should.
point, I'm kind of like, well, maybe I need to save that for
you do.
my Demigod debut.
Yeah. You gotta save it.
And do it live on the
Save it for
podcast.
pod.
But
Sure.
I did know that Drew makes an appearance for some reason.
Yeah, no.
She's just
so
there.
and
though,
I was
yeah.
gonna briefly touch on that as well, because it's like, we know this like bitchy Aphrodite thing. She's not just doing that as like because she believes she has to hold up to her like twisted concept of the Aphrodite legacy. Like, we literally see her at her school and she's like this. She's not a girl's girl. She craves male attention. She's constantly tearing other women down. She's just like this. And it's crazy that she's like the only
disappointing.
Yeah, the only one of the few characters that has crossed the borders of the series, of the pantheons. There's only a very few, and most of them are Percy and Annabeth. So the fact that Drew Tanaka and also Lacey have done this, crazy. Also,
It's
timing.
His choices are weird.
Timing doesn't make sense because DJ, the first King Chronicles book is Christmas time, and then we're 6 months later, right? And then we're 6 months later, so we're back in winter. Lost Hero is winter time.
What's going on in the Kane Chronicles?
Right? I don't know. Rick doesn't pay attention. It's fine. I'm not critiquing him for that, but it is crazy.
Oh, well, we knew that.
Yeah.
It happened in school. Maybe she was going to school, but then when winter break came, she went to the camp.
Oh, you're right. Is it winter break? Is that what's happening?
This is definitely winter break because Annabeth talks about getting out of school for winter break early and coming to camp, and they're gonna spend some time before Christmas at camp. And then Percy vanishes.
So, like, right before winter break, Drew Tanaka just saw, like, the hottest boy she's ever seen in her entire life, and then passed out. You should read the King Chronicles. No spoilers. And then she's like, well, time to go. That's totally weird, but I'm not going to think about that. I'm going to go back to my demigod camp and be the biggest bitch on the planet.
She was already kind of a bitch on in King Chronicles.
You know what? She's doing her thing, and
She's doing exactly what I expect of her.
I wish that there was some like redeeming
substance,
quality
something
to
about her. Yeah,
because I'm like, I love a girl who's a little bit mean when I can defend her, but like I don't know.
It's the fact that she doesn't even fight back.
No,
it's like
she gives up almost immediately. She's stunned that she's being challenged and then gives up.
I mean, Piper does have to like hold her at knife point, and to be fair, I would also give up if someone like had me at knife point, but
she would have given up if the knife didn't come out. She would have been like, okay, let's go. And then the moment they're in the arena, she would have given up.
She wouldn't have shown up for the fight. I think the thing about the thing about Drew that is also really tedious is the entirety of the Aphrodite cabin that I find quite tedious, and this is a Rick Riordan problem that I desperately hope we see addressed and resolved especially come Titan's Curse, as we're adapting that, is that it's like Rick Riordan has never met like a cheerleader. Like, he's only seen movie cheerleaders who are just like the bitchy mean girls in the cafeteria, and has never like watched a documentary of these like young women athletes and performers and how hard they're willing to like work for what they want, and how they're like made of steel in these really dangerous competitions, and how they are equally dedicated to like their physical passionate sport and also looking good at all times. And like, why is that not the Aphrodite cabin? Like, I would want Drew to fight her, and I want her to lose because Drew is wrong, because she is fundamentally misrepresenting Aphrodite, but not because she's a weakling or a coward. It's because Piper is truly better than her. Like, let them fight, Rick.
Yes, I agree. But I don't know that Piper necessarily has a great understanding of Aphrodite
And then there's this.
either, because
and then there's this.
she's swung so hard in the other direction. Like, I wrote down the whole quote that she says to Drew, and I'm just gonna read it, and then we can talk about it. But so she says, "You've turned this cabin into a dictatorship, Drew. Selena Beauregard knew better than that. Aphrodite's about love and beauty, being loving, spreading beauty, good friends, good times, good deeds, not just looking good. Selena made mistakes, but in the end, she stood by her friends. That's why she was a hero. I'm gonna set things right, and I have a feeling that Mom will be on my side. Want to find out?" Like, okay, number one, why is she bringing up Selena? She doesn't know her like that.
You're right. Listen, Piper's
Yeah.
right, but you don't know. Has she talked to anyone that knows Selena? Like Annabeth?
Maybe off
Clarice?
screen. We don't know. We haven't been following her.
The most Selena we've gotten is Drew, like, telling Piper that, oh, she was a traitor, and like, you're a traitor too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. This is not coming from a Piper who
Yeah.
knows Selena. This is coming from a Rick Riordan who knows that his readers know
Yes.
Selena, you
Like,
know?
it's so,
Yeah.
if we wanted this, what we needed was a Piper Clarice interaction.
Yes.
That would've been
We get
nice.
so little
So
Clarice.
crazy. Like, why didn't we have Clarice and Piper? Like, Piper's the first new Aphrodite girl post Celine. Like, I think Clarice would have gone to her. I think she would have tried to talk to her. Like, that was her
Yeah.
Patroclus to her Achilles, and we're just like,
Yeah.
fuck off. And the other problem is, Aphrodite cabin wasn't like that.
No.
They were always like, the Aphrodite girls were so mean to Percy about Tyson when he first shows up. Like, what makes Selena? What makes her special is that she's noted as being the only one of the few nice ones, who's openly nice, who's very like kind and supportive. This idea of Aphrodite as like beauty in life and having good times and being loving, I'm here for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm over here on YouTube and Instagram Reels constantly giving girl Aphrodite lip sync reinterpretations. I'm not going to say I hate it. I'm just going to say, Rick, you're lying to me. That's not what your Aphrodite has ever been.
Yeah.
Literally.
Most definitely. And like, we can hope that Piper is going to go in that direction, but I also I don't feel like Piper even understands what this means, or like how to do that.
Yeah, or what part of the quest did she discover this? Did she go from being so viscerally appalled and uncomfortable about the Aphrodite claiming makeover to being like, it's about loving your friends and making things beautiful, and like, what part of your journey did you see that? Because I'm here for it, but I missed it when you learned this lesson about what it means to be a daughter of Aphrodite.
Right. Like, this is new. This came out of nowhere. I don't know, Julie, you are the Aphrodite cabin defender. What are your thoughts?
Listen, you know, we can be superficial, like, a little bit.
As a treat.
But, like,
I reapplied my lipstick before I got here. I get
as
it.
a treat, like, listeners know I am, like, Selena's #1 defender. She can do no
Right.
wrong in my
Of
eyes.
course.
I ignore any bad things she's ever done because
Right.
she's my favorite.
It was Luke's fault.
Exactly. She was manipulated
By
by,
a
a man.
100%. For sure.
So, like, this new portrayal of Aphrodite's cabin,
Yeah.
I'm all for it. And I kind of ignore the superficial, like, mean girl energy that it might have
Yes.
had in the past.
But I also, like, I don't think Piper recognizes that, like, we can be a little superficial as a treat,
Yes.
even.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think she's grown in that way.
She's a little too pick-me still.
She's a little too, I'm not like other girls.
Yeah.
She's a little too internalized misogyny against femininity. And there's a lot of ways to explore and dissect that. That's just not actually done here.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
hold on.
2010. 2010 is when this book came out.
And so it's of its time.
Oh yeah.
What? She's also like a native girl too.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's also
There's
that.
a lot that
that's
she's
like,
trying to like push back against.
There's a
Arguably.
lot going on with Piper. Like, someone commented on one of my things today that was like, Piper's whole personality is that she's not like the other girls, and like that's it. There's nothing more to her. And I was like, okay, wrong. There's so much going on for Piper, and if you can't see all of that because you're annoyed by the fact that she's like, I don't want to be feminine in a time where girls were told that like they shouldn't be feminine if they want to be heroes, like, I'm just saying, Piper contains multitudes, and I love her so dearly.
counterpoint, Rick Riordan contributes to the narrative that in order to be a hero, you can't be feminine.
True. He does.
Because it's 2010. And we're trying to...
Right.
And it's, we don't want... And it's the peak of Disney princesses are bad for girls era. It's the peak of, like, bad faith, bad takes, poor media literacy on what these characters represent within their own narratives. Like, so much response to, like, well, my lady hero, she doesn't care about her hair. She doesn't care about her makeup. She's going to be totally, like, who she is, and she's still going to get the boy.
Yeah. Like, I wish that Piper had an arc where she realized that, like, yeah, I do want to wear makeup. Like, I do want to be fashionable and cute, and, like, that doesn't make me not a hero, you know?
Yeah. Or if she decides, hey, I don't value that, but not as a rejection of
it's just a good
girl
time
stuff
to look good.
bad, but more as a that is not how I will express myself, or as a very intentional, like, these are things that women have been told we have to do because of, like, we have to be appealing to men at all times. We have to look our best and look good for them to be appealing, to be taken seriously. And I'm going to make a point to reject that and take my power back and be like, no, I am not for you. And there's a lot of different ways to navigate that. And Rick Riordan in 2009, 2010 just simply was not equipped to have a nuanced narrative of that. Wearing or not wearing makeup does not inherently make a character internalized misogyny or anti-feminist or things like that. Thinking other girls are bad because they like makeup is the thing.
Yes.
And he won't be that way for quite a long time.
Just some address of, like, it's okay for us to be, shallow and care about beauty a little bit sometimes, but also, like, Aphrodite is this deeper thing of, like, love for your friends and all that jazz. Like, there needs to be an extra piece to this Piper showdown.
Yeah, also recognizing that, like, that beauty is a sense of power, especially in a highly visualized society, especially where women are expected to look beautiful for men to consume. Be like, fine, I will be so beautiful and you can't touch me. Like, I will be beautiful for myself, to manipulate you, to control you. But then we get into a Medea of it all. Then we get into a Circe of it all. And that's our villains, and our girls can't be that way.
The last little bit of this interaction is Piper being like, oh, by the way, don't even look at Jason. Which I'm just kind of like, because I feel so about Piper and Jason in general. I'm just like,
yeah, that's the general consensus.
If I was more invested in the relationship, that would be a mic drop hell yeah moment. But because I'm constantly like, no. And that is, I think, the thing that makes everyone feel like, oh, Piper's just, I'm not like other girls, I'm a pick-me girl. Because her focus is so on Jason, like, all the time. Like, all the time. And it's like, girl, he ain't even your boyfriend.
But yeah, and then it's also like, do you even like Jason?
He barely knows who you are.
Yes! He doesn't even know who he is!
Yeah.
He doesn't know anything about himself! You can't like him! He doesn't even like himself! And not in, like, a depression way, in a, I have a blank piece of paper way. I don't know what to do with this. Is it for drawing? Is it a letter? Is it origami? Who am I?
Right, like, she likes the idea of having this, like, perfect hero boyfriend. Like, he is basically just blank slate, all-American boy. Like, he is blonde, white boy. She claims that he's muscular. I don't believe that. He's 15. But
I don't know.
I've seen some pretty cut 15-year-olds.
Like, if they're too into gym class or something.
And if they were literally raised by wolves.
He fought titans.
I don't know. I think it's giving comp het to me, like the way that I would just pick a boy that I could tolerate and be like, I have a crush on that one. Just because I was like,
yes,
it feels like I should like boys, and so here's a boy.
Yep.
Like that's what they give to me.
My mom's telling me I'm 15 and I have to like boys now. That's apparently the rule. I didn't know that. I was always getting praised for not being boy crazy like my other friends. Like, when did the rules change? I was getting an A in being perfect daughter, not having a boyfriend, and now all of a sudden I'm weird. I guess I like the boy that everyone
Right.
else likes. Psst. She was a lesbian. That's me. I'm a lesbian. Sorry. I just realized that's me. No, I was gay. Am actively. Just
I
didn't
mean, you
realize
can
it yet.
headcanon whatever you want about Piper. I'm just personally, I'm
That's
like,
the-
that is
like, hey.
that is a queer woman, and we will anyway.
I do want Piper to be a lesbian. I really do.
And it would also like retroactively make all of this, which is just very clearly a badly written romance, inspired. Inspired if it was actually competent.
Yes.
Inspired if it was, we could retroactively look at it. But it is.
Rick Riordan should have talked to a lesbian, and they would have been like, so actually this is what you wrote and you should fix it.
We are all adults. This book is 15 years old.
Yep.
This book is a sophomore in high school. I read it when I was a freshman in high school. This book is older than I was when I first read it. We are still talking about this. We're still talking about Rick Riordan's work. We're still looking forward because he is a solid writer, because he has evolved, because even the things we criticize now have merit to it. He was trying. He put a real effort into this. You will not a time will I ever accuse Rick Riordan of being lazy, of not caring, of just doing it for the paycheck. Like, even if I don't love Piper in these books, I really like Piper in Trials of Apollo, I'll tell you that much. I don't particularly like Piper in these books. But I still know that this is a character who someone really tried with. Like, I don't dislike her. She was not lazily written. I just don't love what she's doing as a character. But she's got some good moments, like holding a dagger up to Tanaka's throat.
Woo! Girl on girl violence, and we're here for it.
That was good.
All right, so the next thing with Piper, she goes to the camp office and like video calls her dad, which the fact that she's allowed to do this is wild to me. Like, we can make video calls? Okay. I know Chiron says like they have to be cautious, but I don't know. It feels weird to me, but
plot.
It's for the plot. Yeah, cuz you're not going to like iris message your dad who doesn't remember any of the stuff that went on.
Yeah. No, hey, it's a cool new VR. What's that? Not VR. The thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could.
It's new hologram technology.
You could convince Tristan McLean that he has enough money to have something like that. I'm sure.
I think they were just holding a tablet behind the mist, and his mind, the mist.
That could work. That could work.
Yeah, the mist was just projecting it onto.
But also, like,
that's so
this
funny.
man has to be so rich, because last episode we looked up what a helicopter costs, and it's like millions of dollars, and they just donated a new helicopter to the, like, that's one of the things that happens in this phone call, but like, millions of dollars just donated anonymously to the like parks department.
He's the most popular actor currently.
Yeah, he's like he's the Tom Cruise of this
world. Do you
world.
think they did a tax write-off for that?
Oh yeah,
I'm sure.
Absolutely they did.
I'm obsessed with the detail that Chiron has like decorated with a bunch of party pony shirts. Like, they're just around everywhere. That's so funny to me.
I love that. So
it's like
good.
keeping your con badge at every
Huge
con.
fan of the party pony.
So, major things that happen in this call. First of all, Coach Hedge answers, and Piper spends the whole call calling him Gleason, number one, which I'm like, where did this come from? When did we get on a first name basis with Coach Hedge? Because, like, me as the reader, I don't feel like I'm on a first name basis with Coach Hedge.
No, here's the thing. No, his first name is Coach.
Exactly.
Yeah, no. I'm like, Gleason? What?
Is she teasing him? Does Millie call him Gleason first and then Piper starts doing it?
No, because Millie shows up towards the end.
Yeah, because I feel like...
Or midway through, she already called him Gleason at that point.
Yeah, she says, like, thanks, Gleason, don't get too used to Hollywood or something like that. And it's like, who?
Yeah, even the internal narrative says Gleason Hedge grinned at her, not Coach. She doesn't call him Coach once.
And then I'm like, okay, have we seen this at any other point in the book? I've got to, like, word search here. Hold on.
Her dad calls him Coach.
What?
Well, he's a life coach.
He is his life coach.
That's his life coach. I guess it happens a couple times that they refer to him as Gleason, but not enough for it to not be like jarring.
Yeah.
Annabeth does come in and be like, where's Gleason in the first chapter, and that feels weird to me as well, but I'm just like, yeah, his first name is Coach, like you said.
Yeah.
It's also, okay, speaking of him being Tristan's life coach, wild to me that Tristan just accepts this. Like, you've been kidnapped, and now this guy is like, hey, I'm your life coach. Like, no wonder you got kidnapped. You're just willing to trust this guy?
Actually.
I also think it's like when he talks to Piper and says, "Hey, I'm so proud of you and you're going to be great and grandpa always knew it and I know it too." Like he doesn't remember what she did, but I think that's coming from a place in the heart. Like even though he doesn't remember, it's not like he drank from like the river Lethe and it's truly
Very
wiped
true.
away. Like I think it's more just like suppressed.
Like the
a thing
feelings
you'd
are still there,
revisit in a dream.
but the memories
Yeah, and so I think he sees Gleason. Oh, no, bad. He sees Coach Hedge and is like, I trust this man. I think he'd be willing to armor up and save my life if he had to.
All right, that's fair.
I love my daughter and I'm proud of her. I can't think of a specific example as to why, but I am. And I believe she's capable of great things. And I should tell her that today.
But the way he specifically says that she's going to outshine him and someday they'll just remember him as Piper McLean's father and that's the best legacy he could imagine. Like, I'm gonna cry.
Oh, it was a
That's
lot.
so good.
Oh, God.
That's
Oh, my
so
gosh.
nice.
Please. Yeah.
I'm
no,
like, if someone
yeah,
complimented
okay.
me like that, I would die on the spot.
Yeah, my dad says stuff like that. I'm like, oh, no.
I'm
Oh,
like,
no.
what?
I'm all cry.
Don't say that.
Oh.
Also,
I love you too, Dad.
huge news. Coach Hedge and Melly are apparently together because she comes and kisses his cheek. And I guess
Love them.
we read
Love
that
it.
to be that they're in a relationship. And I know I was hating on it at the time, Julie. I do enjoy this relationship now that we're like out of danger and not currently fighting for our lives. But in the moment, I was like, stop flirting. You're supposed to be the adults.
Listen, true love stops for nothing. Okay.
Okay, fair.
And honestly, that's what Piper would tell us whenever we criticize her for thinking about Jason. She would tell us that true love stops for nothing and we need to stop being haters.
Yes.
Gosh. Okay.
And then Mal and I could just say, we're gay, so shut up.
True.
You can't tell me if there was a gorgeous woman you were fighting alongside, you wouldn't think about it.
No, I would be thinking about how hot. Like, if there was.
And actually, I'm ace, so I'd also be like, get your head in the game.
I, unfortunately, if a woman was coming at me, like, specifically with a sword, I would be like, hot sword woman.
Oh, same.
I just had to shoulder check you out of the way.
Unfortunately. Also, this whole conversation is like a minute long because Mr. McLean is very busy. So that's wild.
That he is.
Yeah.
And then speaking of how hot Jason looks, she goes and finds him on the basketball court and has to tell us like how muscular he looks. Of course.
So do you think at the beginning of the book Jason could have played basketball? Or is this like the memories of how to play basketball have come back to him? Or did someone just have to teach him how to play basketball?
Ball is life. He always knew.
Do the Romans have basketball?
There were some like weird things that he remembered. Like, he remembered enough to make a reference to the Fantastic Four, you know? So maybe basketball is one of the things that, like, stayed? I don't know.
Could you have played basketball earlier? or did that just come back to you?
Like, is Jason really good at basketball? Kind of the same way as, like, the fighting? That it's, like, a thing that unlocks for him? I don't know.
Who's he playing with?
Possibly the, like, 5 friends that he lists later in these chapters. Who is it? Dakota, Bobby, Hazel, Raina. There's another one. Isn't there? Oh, Gwendolyn.
Hazel's not playing basketball with you. She's got better things to do. But I meant like here at Camp Half-Blood. Who's playing with Jason?
Well, Jason's not even actively playing. He's like sitting. I'm very interested in the like regular camp activities that Piper describes, like the Aries cabin putting fresh barbed wire on their cabin, and then the Hermes cabin selling flying shoes slightly used 50% off, which like I feel like is supposed to remind us of the flying shoes we knew from the Lightning Thief, but those have to be still in Tartarus, and no one's gone to get those, I would assume. So I also wonder, like 50% off for the Hermes cabin, do you think they're selling just one shoe?
Yes, because that's the joke. They're not 50% off on sale. You're getting 50% of this pair of shoes.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, the Aphrodite cabin is watching the exchange that Jason and Piper are having, because of course. because this feels like a fan fiction, the end of this book, actually. Jason's like, I've been having dreams about my past, and it's not good news for any of us, because of course, he's been very vague about that this entire time. And then Piper's like, well, I'll follow you anywhere. And Jason then says, that's a dangerous thing to say. And she says, I'm a dangerous girl, which is a callback to their meteor shower dream date, which is like not even a thing that actually happened. But now this line is happening in real life. And I hate it just as much the second time as I did the first time.
It also has this weird thing of like it's trying to set up because like Aphrodite tells her like you see potential. That's why you have like Leo doesn't have any like concrete memories of being friends with Jason. He just had suddenly this vibe. It's like, yeah, it's my buddy Jason, whatever. Have we ever hung out before? Probably, right?
But he also spins like every other chapter he's like, I don't know, can we really trust Jason? Like, what if he's evil?
Right? And I'm like, why doesn't Piper have that vibe? Like, why isn't Piper more upset that she has all these really concrete but totally fake memories? Like, if I were her, I would be like, I hate that guy. I can't trust myself. I don't know what's real or not in my head. And I blame you for it, even though I know it's not your fault. Get the hell away from me. But again, I'm a lesbian. So like, I'd respond differently to the man.
Yeah, if you have memories of being in a relationship with a man, like that's a different problem.
But like also, he doesn't open up to her.
No.
Like this like opportunity to share with Piper the dreams he's been having, specific details, specific worries, specific thoughts. He doesn't do that. He just says, oh, I should probably wait until Annabeth and Rachel are coming for like the big meeting and he'll tell everybody. But he makes the decision not to confide in Piper, which is wild on Rick's part for a choice of trying to write this clearly we're supposed to be rooting for this couple. Like, and we get
and they have like zero genuine interaction.
Zero, right? It's like,
pretty rough.
You're gonna make me think. I would think that Jason doesn't like her, period. Except in the next chapter, he thinks about how he does really like Piper and he thinks he's super cool. But I don't know about this Raina thing. I'm like, okay, but you don't ever take the opportunity to do the thing that deepens your relationship with this person. Like, confide in them, connect with them. And not that they haven't done that as a friend level, the trio over the course of the quest. But like,
well,
in
and
this
it's the
moment
fact that
here,
Hera later has to tell him that, hey, Piper and Leo are your friends. They're not just your responsibility. Like,
that's also true. And it could be, and this could be
wild.
where Jason's at. Like, it could just be because Jason could be this way. Because again, we don't know anything about him because he hasn't been himself the whole time. It's like,
but yeah, I get to the end of this book and I'm like, I still don't think I know who Jason is.
Because we don't. And he's constantly grappling with like, I don't know anything about myself. I don't know what I should do or what I would do or who am I or what I care about. And I'm like, y'all, this lasted so long. We did this for way too long.
Yeah.
Too long of the book.
The whole book, and even at the end, you're gonna give me this glimpse of like sieging the Titans.
Mount
They're
Fortress.
gonna siege the Titan home mount. Yes, and you're just gonna mention that in passing. You're not gonna even give me a dream sequence where he's living that, like a flashback of it. Like, Rick, you love dream sequence flashbacks.
And I need to know if that was more impressive than Percy, like, fighting Hyperion in Central Park and then technically taking down Kronos through...
I gotta tell you right now, I'm certain it's not. It's so fucking not. I am
because I
positive
bet Jason didn't solo.
It's not nearly as awesome as Percy soloing.
But Jason says that he's the one who took down Krios.
I think it's like if you're in a Pokemon raid battle, right? And you do the last hit because you happen to have tapped it last and you happen to be the one that kills the Pokemon in the raid battle. And like, I bet Jason did take him out, but with a whole legion of other Romans, right? Like, he's not by himself.
I'm certain there's a lot of generals out there that say, yeah, like, I'm the one who won that battle. Of course, they led the army, so they did like have a leading role in it, but...
Yeah. So no, I don't think Jason took him out solo. I think he led the charge. I think he gets the credit. I think he was like maybe the mastermind behind the battle strategy. And I bet that scene is very impressive if you see like all of the different combatants in it.
But
and
where
Jason,
is that
like,
scene? We
charge.
need that scene.
Where's that scene, Rick? Where's that scene? Richard, this book is 550 pages long, and you couldn't spare any of it? You can spare
You can just
2
spare like
pages
3
to
pages.
give me
Yeah.
a dream flashback that shows me anything about Jason as who he is as a person?
No. We have to experience Piper telling us yet again how hot he is. Okay, so the last kind of thing that happens here that I feel is worth mentioning is they're going off to the woods to see something that Leo has said he needs to show them, and Piper takes the like card for the Hunters of Artemis that Thalia had given her, and she throws it into the fire, and
Oh, I
she
hate
says
this.
that she's not going to need this because there's going to be no breaking of hearts in the Aphrodite cabin from now on. It's a rite of passage they don't need. And I'm like, okay, one, at this point, if Piper joined the Hunters, would that even be all that heartbreaking for Jason?
No.
No, I
He
don't
doesn't
think
know
so.
her.
And then you can't just decide that you're not going to break hearts. Like, that's always a risk that comes with love, you know?
I think it's the fact that they did it intentionally. That was the bad part. That's where she's like,
Yeah.
we're not doing that anymore. We don't need that rite of passage. Breaking hearts is a part of love, yes, but it's not going to be like,
Yeah.
we're going to make these guys fall in love with us so we could just break their hearts.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
That's cringe and bad.
Yeah, that's not good. My thing is, I don't love that the Hunters are being used as like a counterpoint to
Mm-hmm.
Aphrodite.
not even just Aphrodite, but like this is like not breaking hearts. We're gonna pursue romance, and it's like, again, this is the only reason why apparently anyone would choose to not join the Hunters is because they have a crush on a boy. Like that is
bad.
and that was the thing from like the Titan's Curse, and we're still doing it. Richard, how are you still doing this? Like, there's no other reason why any person would choose to pursue being with the Hunters beyond either trying to get away from or just I have no interest in romance. Like, it's this weird, the fact that she throws the card away, and not like because I want to commit to myself at Camp Half-Blood, because I want to follow this path, I want to choose this future. It's we're just not going to break boys' hearts. Like that's all like the Hunters are.
It's very much like centering men in something that's supposed to be kind of feminist, like women doing this cool thing for themselves, but it's very focused on men. Like
it sucks that it's the only thing that ever like the ones that we've encountered have been, oh yeah, I did it because I didn't join because I like a guy.
And that's also fair. It also this just could not be the right path for you.
Like I didn't join because I don't want to live in the fucking woods. I hate camping. This shit sucks. What the fuck? I don't even like being here at camp, dude. Are you kidding me? I'm here because it protects me, but I don't like this. This
I
sucks.
would love Camp Half-Blood is the thing. I love cabins.
No, I know.
I love activities.
I just mean like that's like another
campfire songs. I love being at like a glamping, right? I don't want to sleep on the ground though. And when the day is done, I want to go back in the cabin, right? I want to sleep on a bed. I don't want to like cook food on a fire.
Definitely.
And like had a fish and skin. I don't want to do that. Early in our podcast, my bit was like I was a hunter of Artemis, and I realized, fuck no. I don't want to be a hunter, and I'm very ace. I get along great. I don't have any concerns about that rule. I just don't want to be in the woods. I am an acolyte of Hestia. I am cozy, and I want to make people comfortable in my presence.
Ooh, love that.
Hey, I have a name for this chapter.
Oh, fantastic!
Yours is better.
I think you might be the first guest who has come prepared with chapter names.
My bad, DJ. I forgot to tell you.
I didn't even know that was a thing because I don't listen to podcasts.
I've been trying to rename the chapters so that Julie can make predictions because that was fun to do with the first series. So I called this one "Everything's Coming Up, Piper" to be kind of like Rose's turn from the musical Gypsy, but also because like everything's going well for Piper. What's yours? I'm dying to hear it.
I called it Piper Takes Charge. Yours is
good.
Better.
I like that.
I think yours is it paints a more vibrant picture.
Yeah. All right. So we ready for 53, Leo?
Yeah. Should we get into the Leo chapter?
I will say that like the notes that I took, I have like half a page for both of Leo's chapters, and then like half a page for Jason, and Piper was like 3 pages.
Yes,
so
I
like,
did go through that. So I was like, okay, we're right on target.
Yeah, it was like this timing makes sense to me. So okay, chapter 53 is a Leo chapter, and It starts with Leo revealing his fire powers.
Speaking of people who are always thinking about the opposite sex.
Oh my gosh.
Dude,
Yeah.
I love Leo. He is the most accurate depiction of a teenage boy.
Which is actually not a thing Leo does in these chapters, but
Yeah, he actually does very little thinking about girls in this chapter because he's got more important things to focus on, aka
He's dealing with
showing his cabin mates and his friends Bunker 9.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so he has to like reveal his fire powers, but then that ends up being sort of moved on from pretty quick because everything is just so crazy within the bunker. Also, Festus's head is here.
Shout
Thank
out.
goodness.
What a goat.
And
Love
we're going to
Festus.
be reusing that somehow. And then, we get into the origins of this place. And Leo kind of looks at what's around and determines that it was a wartime command center. And Nissa notes that there's like a date on the map that says 1864. And then Chiron finally chimes in and is like, oh yeah, this is from the Civil War. And yet again, Rick does not consider the consequences of paralleling real world conflict with these like demigod fictional conflicts, because you're like, okay, the American Civil War was also the conflict between two separate groups of demigods. That means one of your groups of demigods is the Confederacy.
I like to think of it as though it was in fact just in like the Greek and the Romans were duking it out separate to
just happened to be
what
at
was
the
going
same
on.
time. Totally
Not
separate,
happened to be at the same time. They were influenced by the strife that was going on in the Greek and Roman. So the mist was then masking that to be like increase the strife in the mortal issues.
Right. But the strife for the mortal issues,
yeah, it heightened it. It maybe they could have solved it like in normal like ways, but then like these other people were warring, and so it heightened the emotions.
Actually, that's not a bad theory.
Because then it's like, we got Ares, Mars, Athena, Minerva. They're all just warring right there, right? Bellona's down there, and they're just like creating so much more strife in the mortal realm that it's then heightening the emotions. That's going crazy.
DJ, that's a really good theory, because the thing that people don't
best
like
way
to
to
talk
read
about,
this situation.
No. Let me see. Because the thing that people don't like to talk about in regard to the Civil War, especially in regards to like Lincoln and the North, is that President Abraham Lincoln was totally willing to pass a law to make slavery permanent in the South. Like that was a thing he was fully prepared to do, because the South was like, oh, they actually Lincoln, he's going to get rid of slavery. We can't have that. And he was fully prepared in order to try to maintain peace to push for legislation that would have meant slavery was permanent in the Southern states, right?
Yeah.
But they were like, that's no good. We're still going to succeed. We're going to want to do our own things there. So the idea that the Romans and the Greeks were already creating a lot of strife that inflamed this strife rather than just sit and get the thing they wanted. But they're like, no, we're going to do whatever we want forever. That actually has some historical merit in a really icky part of history that a lot of people don't like to talk about, because we don't want to think about Lincoln saying, okay, you could just do slavery forever. But that was a thing he was totally kind of gonna do, and it sucks.
It's a messy period of history.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Past is bad. But yeah, that's actually a good point, because otherwise we have to contend with the fact that the Roman demigods wanted just to, what does it say here? Yes, keep slaves. Own humans as property? Yeah, that's what Rick has just told us.
Literally.
Yeah, so we're about to see the next 4 books with some characters that fought on this side that wanted to own human beings. Interesting.
They didn't fight on that side. They just happened to be descendants from that side, and that's not good.
And that's not good.
That's
just a little messy, and we're just gonna be like, hey, Hazel's great though. We love Hazel.
We love Hazel though. And that's what also makes it
we love Frank.
Unhinged.
Big fan of Frank. Big fan of Frank right here.
Listen, Julie hasn't met them yet. Julie hasn't met them.
Has not, but big fan of Frank, dude. I love Frank.
Enjoy these names that
I will forget very soon.
Yeah,
100%. I've done that
especially because we're taking a big break between this.
Okay, what are you doing?
Julie hasn't seen season 1 of the show.
Oh, that'll be so fun for you.
She's got to watch season 1 before season 2 comes out.
Of course. That'll be so fun for you. Yeah. And they also have a comment of like, it almost got really bad in the 1960s. And I'm like, because Vietnam? Like, what are you talking about, Richard?
What are we talking about? Is that like Cold War tensions? Where there was a group in Cuba? Is that like Bay of Pigs? Is that what we're talking about here? Russia? Are we talking about the fact that the Romans were Russia?
Like, here's the other thing that's crazy is that I think a thing he kind of forgets, that whole World War II thing is a lie. Like,
Yeah.
in canon, in his own text, the idea that, like, oh, because World War II was so bad, and that's why the three main gods stopped having kids and stopped interacting with it. That's not true. It's because
Yeah.
it's because the
Because the
prophecy. And so
Literally.
they stopped having kids, and then Zeus decreed no more interacting with the demigod kids. It actually had nothing to do with the World War, but they used it as a mask because they didn't want the prophecy becoming common knowledge. And sometimes I think Rick forgets that.
Julie, how do you think demigod conflict contributed to the Iraq War?
Dude.
She wrote a whole thesis on the Iraq War.
There you go.
You were like expertly positioned to speak on
Yeah,
this.
I'm gonna have to do some research.
Of course.
I need to come back to this because that would be hilarious to try to weave that in. I have to be honest.
Okay, I'll jot that
Yeah.
down, and I will
We'll
hold you to
revisit.
that. I will make you.
I
come
know what
back
I'm
to
doing
that.
at work tomorrow.
I love it. I love it. Yes.
Yeah, so the last big thing that happens in this chapter is that Leo then reveals his crayon drawing of a boat and is like, hey, we have to build this, and we're going to call it the Argo 2 after the Jason of the Myths ship.
Cute. I love it.
I'm a big fan. Love the Argo too.
And then Chiron also says that, you know, Jason, Piper, and Leo are going to be among the 7 demigods who must sail, and they are going to the original Mount Olympus in Greece.
Woo!
So, hot girl Greek summer incoming.
Greek cruise, let's go!
Mamma mia.
Exactly. My chapter title for this one was "Hello MTV, welcome to my crib," because
Oh,
that's the vibes that I got
fun.
for Leo,
There you
like
go,
showing
yeah.
everyone Bunker 9.
Mine was crayon drawing of a war machine, because I do feel like the idea of our teenage protagonists building a war machine has just super different vibes in 2025 than it did in 2010, where that just really did feel like a vague abstract concept. And today I was like, I'm acutely uncomfortable with this being a war machine and not like an adventure boat.
Yeah. That's what Leo points out, and Leo and Jason point out too. They're like, if they see us coming in a warboat, they're not going to be stoked about it.
Yeah, I'm like, you didn't have to build a war boat. But like, I get why they have to, because it's like they're gonna go over to Greece, and they've talked about you don't go there anymore. It's really dangerous, and so you have to be like fully equipped up. But it's like the USS Enterprise isn't a warship; it's for exploration. But she's not unarmed; like she's ready to brawl should she have to. But they don't call her a warship. So we don't have to call the Argo 2 a war machine, but that is a choice they
You
make,
could have
and they
just called
double
it a
down on
Greek,
it.
what, trireme? Is that what their boats are called?
Let's say yes.
Yeah. Is that
A
how you say it?
skyship.
I never know how to
Boat
say anything in these books.
name.
I've
I
always
just say
said
it confidently.
trireme, but I don't know if that's right.
You just gotta say it with confidence and then keep going too fast for anyone to question you.
Well, on that note, chapter 54, also a Leo chapter.
Yep.
Also, like, the shortest chapter of all time. Like, it almost makes me angry that this chapter exists.
I'm gonna tell you what I decided this chapter would have been called, and this should be chapter 53.
Yes, this should be a part. Like, Rick is trying so hard to keep up with his pattern of, like, 2 chapters for this character, 2 chapters for this character. And it's the same reason why we get the Jason Thalia reunion in Leo's point of view.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
not
all
And
good.
it's
good.
stupid.
It was really bad.
Can I attack this? I need to just tear into it. The thing about it is, this is the thing that is one of those elements that make Heroes of Olympus the weakest of Rick Riordan's series, is because he clings so intensely to this pattern of every character is going to have X amount of chapters and they're going to go in this specific order. And that means, as you just pointed out, sometimes the character that is being most impacted by the events taking place is not our point of view character. And sometimes we have to hear about really important things happening off page because that character isn't our point of view character for the book.
I don't know very much about the books Rick Riordan wrote before this, but I don't know that he's ever done the, like, split narrator third person situation. Like, most of his book series are, like, first person, and that I feel like is where he really shines.
Every single other one of them is first person. This is the only book that's third person.
Yeah, even the Kane Chronicles, even though it switches between Sadie and Carter's POVs, it's still first person. They
He's
are
definitely
talking to
the
you.
strongest
Yeah.
when first person.
So
It's
I
unbelievable.
think Rick didn't know how to do it in this book, and he does get
No.
better through
He
the
does get
series
better.
as he writes more of
Well,
it. But it's like,
I mean,
I wonder what this series would have been if he had stuck with what he's good at, and if we had gotten first person.
Yeah. Well, you know.
All right, so our short little chapter. We're going to Greece, and everybody has a lot of questions about this, and I just want to shout out whatever camper asks, hey, how come everybody doesn't get to go to Greece? Because, like, I feel that.
Fair.
That would be
Fair.
me. I would not be included on the trip to Greece, and I'd be like, hey, wait, I want to go to Greece.
Right? They need backup. It's a big wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, hold on.
It's a big boat, too. It's a pentaconner. I was wrong. It's not a trireme. It's a pentaconner, because that's what the Argo was.
I thought they called it a trireme.
And it's a big fucking boat. Honestly, if they called it a trireme, they were wrong.
Rick Riordan? Mr. I thought the arch was closer? Was wrong?
No, not I thought the arch was closer. Oh, that's...
Yeah, so kind of the other thing we get here is just that they're going to have to sail on this boat by the summer solstice. So they've got 6 months. And that they're going to have to travel by air or by sea. And so it's great that we have Jason, but, you know, we're very much missing a certain son of the sea god. More on that later. Yeah, so I called this one Leo Gets Promoted, because he also gets promoted to head counselor. But it's much less eventful than Piper's promotion. It's very just, hey, Leo, you're in charge now.
It's like, oh, you should be it. It's like, okay.
Well, because Ephesus just didn't have one, right? They hadn't picked another one since
It was Jake
Speckendorf?
Mason, but he very clearly didn't want it.
Oh, okay. That's right.
All right, so Jason time. Chapter 55. Jason's having an angst moment. What else is new? He keeps doing this.
That's fair.
And so he starts telling us, like, memory things. And one of the things he, like, says he remembers is the night Lupa tested him to see if he was a pup or food. Was he literally 2 years old when that happened?
I don't know. I think she has them for a while.
I don't know, because I don't see her, like, keeping around this baby if he doesn't prove that he's, like, gonna be useful. But then I'm like, testing a baby to see if you're gonna eat him is horrifying.
That's why Jason becomes goated, dude.
And what it is are you a pup or food? Not are you a wolf, not are you a soldier, but are you tough enough to be a pup that's worth raising?
Yeah.
And I think a 2-year-old could prove that.
I don't like
especially a 2-year-old that could accidentally electrocute you.
I know you don't like the word pup, Julie.
It makes me very uncomfortable.
Expound, elaborate on that. Share with the class.
I really don't want to.
Huh. Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting. Is it interesting?
It's a weird word. I don't know. I don't.
The other one that's wild to me is him remembering getting his tattoo, which I guess would have happened when he was literally 3 years old, considering he's 15 and has, like, the 12-year lines. So also horrifying.
Oh shit, yeah.
Like,
that's bad.
Who put a tattoo on a 3-year-old?
No, that's bad. I forgot about the lines and it being every year. Because, like, in my head, I was like, yeah, he probably got at the same time 12. That's when Percy shows up, and the Romans are just a little bit more hardcore. But no, because they wouldn't do the lines before the main tattoo.
The Romans are hardcore.
The Romans are tattooing 3-year-olds! Like, is he an outlier? Because, like, Annabeth was very much an outlier arriving to camp at 7. Like, she was the younger end. So it feels like Jason has to be the younger
Jason
end.
was, in fact, Juno's ward. So he is an outlier, was given to Juno.
Yeah.
Yeah,
wild.
I think she's just like, they're just like, well, Lupa just dropped off a kid. And step 1 is tattoo. So I guess, and it's like, they're 3. It's like, I don't know what to do.
I'm stressed thinking about Jason's childhood. Like, I don't don't want to unpack this any further.
Yeah, he's like,
and I think that's why Jason just hasn't gotten back all of his memories. He's also just like, you know what? I don't even unpack
he's like,
that ever.
Right,
this
it'll be
is
fine.
Yeah, he also remembers some of his friends, and I think I already said their names, but Dakota, Gwendolyn, Hazel, Bobby, Raina are the ones he gives us. And he also is like, I'm not sure how I feel about Raina and how this affects what I've got going on with Piper, but like, Raina definitely
Best girl,
emphasizes
Raina.
that one.
Love Raina. Big fan of Raina.
And then he starts like talking to the Zeus statue and like telling his father he understands like why he doesn't talk
This
to
is
him.
crazy. This is
This
crazy.
is
nuts. It's
so
Oh my
crazy.
God.
Like,
what is
Certifiable.
this?
he needs to
Who
stop
is this
being so
man?
noble and have the daddy issues crash out he deserves.
Yeah, what is this? He says like, oh, I bet it's really hard. Like you have to make challenging decisions, and everyone's always like, what does he say? I bet everyone's always challenging your decisions, and you've had to make hard choices. Who are you talking to? Where do you think you are? Who do you think that man is? Zeus? Everyone's just like Zeus because he's the one making the hard choices. Yeah, he's made a hard choice, but I don't know if it's the kind of hard choice you think you're talking about, Jason. It's the hard choice that got you here, Jason.
I just, it's almost like he's projecting his own thoughts on being a leader onto his father.
For sure.
And being like, I get it
Yes.
because I'm the same way. And it's like, Jason, you are unfortunately
not,
like
baby boy,
1,000 times the man
no.
Zeus is. Or Jupiter.
No,
whatever
Jason, yeah.
pantheon he's
And he's
part of.
this line about like, I know you can't just come. You're like other gods can like help their kids, but you can't do it. You can't just come to our aid
That's
unless
not
you're
even true right
Talia,
now.
and you need her to turn her into a tree so she doesn't die. I guess.
Yeah.
Is
Just-
that a thing? Hey, I don't think Juno's allowed in Camp Half-Blood. Like legally. How'd she get in here?
That's a
She's
great point. It's like you have a Roman goddess in the Greek
Well,
camp.
Yeah. like,
here's the thing.
Hera-
What's like the difference between Juno and Hera? Like,
I think she literally the iconography she rolls up with is Juno iconography.
well, yeah,
It
I know the
is.
iconography, but it's like,
And I'm pretty sure Jason refers to her as Juno. They really spell out a lot of things for us here. Like they give us exactly what
Yeah.
needs to happen and like how
leader swap. Okay, well then
leader
we
swap.
know exactly where Percy is.
The 7 demigods are divided between 2 places. So, they're not all here. And then Jason kind of has kind of like Piper, an undeserved sort of lesson. It feels like the same way that we were like, I don't know where on your journey you learned this like meaning of Aphrodite, but when he's like, oh, it feels like I have this home and I feel so much better about like being a leader for these people than I did 2 days ago. And I'm like, where? When?
Like I love that for you, but yeah, from once you died, dude. You died because you couldn't look the other way for half a goddamn second.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, like there's a disconnect here. It's the same as like when they're telling Jason like, "Oh, hey, you're the leader. You're the leader." I'm like, "No, he's not. Maybe he can become the leader, but at this point, he's not." It's like,
yeah, because he doesn't know anything about himself.
We're jumping ahead to the like, this is where we want these characters to be. And I think Rick could do a better job of like planting the seeds to like tell us where these characters are going to be rather than being like, this is where they are. And it's like, but they're not there yet.
And he's usually so good at that.
Yeah.
He's usually so good at us watching these arcs. And
Lost Year is a very, very rushed book.
And the fact that it is 550 pages long.
Much like us,
talk about
Rick just wanted to get through this one to get to Percy.
Yeah. Hey, here, you want to talk about a crazy thing that happens in this? So, when she shows up, the goddess shows up, Jason calls her Hera, and she's like, hey, but you have always been Juno. So they refer to her as Juno for the rest of this time. But when she talks about how she's like, oh, I'm the goddess of marriage, like I'm kind of, she has this weird line about how she's almost jealous of the other gods and their demigod children because it makes them closer to mortals and like humanity. And I think that's a very interesting idea that I would love to see explored farther. But she also says, I only have 2 children, Ares and Hephaestus. And I'm like, but you're Juno right now.
Yeah, you could have said
So
Vulcan
why
and
are
Mars. Like they have names.
Maybe because Juno cannot legally be in this camp, so she's actually Hera, but she's appearing as what Jason would be most comfortable with.
She's just pointing out that you've always called me Juno, but I'm like, not Juno. Don't say shit like that. Also, fun fact, that's not Hera's only children.
No, of course it's not.
like she also
calling them
has a
failures is
daughter.
pretty crazy, right?
Like she has a daughter. It's Hebe. She's the goddess of youth, and she was the original cupbearer before Ganymede. And when Hercules rolls up, Hera decides that let's bury the hatchet. You can marry my daughter.
Okay, but like Hera forgetting about her daughter feels on brand.
On brand.
It's you know what? Yeah, it's actually super does.
Yeah.
You're so right. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
But also, I feel like that was a Rick forgot. So, this is... I don't feel great about the title I gave to this one. I just called it Jason Finally Gets Some Answers, because I didn't know what else to call it, but this is the first time he gets straight answers, so love that.
Finally.
It's
I have Juno comes to visit.
Jason and the Psychonauts.
Jason and the Psychonauts. Okay.
All right.
Let's wrap it up.
Last chapter. 56.
Woo!
Another Jason chapter. And we are having the war council at the ping pong table with nachos, and also the leopard head is here for some reason.
Love him.
Seymour.
Love Seymour.
Love Seymour.
Huge fan.
Love that he's making another cameo here. Also, Clarice is here for the first time. We get a little taste of Clarice, my girl.
Crazy.
Other characters in attendance.
Will Solis is here.
Yeah, Will Solis is trying to light or not Will Solis. Travis Stoll is trying to light a ping pong ball on fire.
Yeah, that's tracks.
We've got Clovis, who is asleep. Butch, who's putting pencils in his nose. Llewellyn is playing Magical Got Your Nose with Miranda Gardner. Actually has her nose. Love that.
Because
Chaos.
Llewellyn is a daughter of Hecate.
I love camp.
So she has magic.
Yeah, love that. And then Annabeth and Rachel are also here, of course. And so I love that Clarice is very skeptical of the Romans, because I too am skeptical of the Romans, because it's like, okay, we have some generational beef with these guys that, like, we've spent 6 books now at this camp, and, like, we've never heard of the Romans. Like, there's never been any indication that there is this other group of people that we have so much beef with. So then to all of a sudden be like, yes.
Also, apparently they were the Confederacy. And I don't know if they've gotten over that yet.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
have they paid reparations yet?
It's just, I don't know. It's just like, the Romans came out of nowhere, to me, at least. And also to Clarice. So, love that Clarice is, once again, my self-insert character.
To be fair, I don't think he was planning a lot of things in advance when he was writing PJO.
Yes, for sure.
The other thing is, like, we've been hanging out with Jason this whole book, and we've gotten his, like, I keep calling the gods by their Greek or their Roman names, and I keep having these weird flashes, and I can speak Latin, and, like, we as the readers, we get it. Yeah. You're Roman.
Yeah.
We get where this twist is coming from. But, like, Clarice hasn't been hanging out with this guy. Mm-hmm. Clarice just got home, and they're talking about Romans.
Like, the only reason that we even know that this is a bad thing is because Jason keeps telling us that, like, I think this is a bad thing. Like, I'm not supposed to be here. But even, like, Annabeth, who I always kind of look to in these books as, like, she's the one who's going to tell me what camp is feeling. And, like, what do the Greeks feel? Because she's, like, been in this world for so long. Even Annabeth, like, doesn't know what this means. That he calls them by their Roman names. Like, I just don't believe that Camp Half-Blood has beef with the Romans. Like, I don't buy it.
You gotta wonder, because it just seems so aggressively obvious, and the fact that Annabeth's been, like, baffled and perplexed this whole time, you gotta wonder how much the mist is working into overdrive.
It had to,
right? Because, like,
that's true. I always forget about the magical stuff because I'm like, how is no one getting this? And then it's like, wait, magic.
Right, because like, just knowing human history, but the Greek gods went to Rome, and then Rome became an empire for, like, thousands of years, and so, like, what happened with that? Like, why aren't there Roman demigods? Like, why did they revert back to being Greek? Like, is there, like, you gotta imagine that every time someone got close to it, like, the myths just rushed in and wiped their memories, like the Men in Black rolling up on a morgue in New York City and just mind wiping the person working at the morgue because they've seen too much. Like, they just got to keep the kids from connecting the dots.
Keep them from knowing about each other.
Yeah. And maybe that's why Juno rolled up, because her physical presence in the camp is turning down the mist enough for them to be able to connect the dots and not forget.
Maybe.
That's a great theory, actually.
Wonderful.
I enjoy that.
Thank you.
And yes, Annabeth is putting the pieces together here, and she's thinking back to the prophecy and thinking about, like, foes bear arms to the doors of death, and she's like, we have to close the doors of death. And she's like, and I'm gonna come with you. And Jason's like, yes, we're gonna need
Classic
you.
Annabeth.
And Leo's like, wait, why do we need Annabeth? Because he has not put together
so rude.
the final piece. Yeah, I know, so rude.
Leo, shut the fuck up.
He has not put together the final piece of this puzzle, which is an exchange goes two ways, and someone else disappeared the same time Jason showed up. Percy Jackson is at the other camp, and he probably doesn't remember who he is.
Hey, baller line to end on, Rick. I gave you a lot of grief in this episode, but that
It's
kicked ass.
It's
Good
a
job.
great
10 out of
cliffhanger.
10.
Look, he's very good about ending his books.
Very good. Yeah, what a cliffhanger.
Not the best
What a
cliffhanger in this
cliffhanger.
series, but it's up there.
Not the biggest, but...
And I remember, like, when I read this at, like, 14 or 15, I remember being so shook by this reveal. And then reading it back, I was like, why was I shook? Like, the Roman stuff is so obvious. But watching, like, Julie read this, she clocked onto the Roman thing pretty quickly. But I feel like every prediction you had to do with, like, Percy being at the other camp willingly. Like, so I think it's, like, the extra memory piece that, like, Percy is in the same situation as Jason, but on the other side. And then I was like, maybe that's why I was so, like, oh my gosh, like, this is crazy.
Julie, how did you feel when you read that and it painted it out like, hey, yes, confirmation, there's a Roman camp, Percy is there, but also he's got none of his memories. As someone who's just recently met Percy Jackson, like, how was that experience?
Yeah, so I kind of, like, thought it kind of made me reevaluate how I viewed Jason almost, because I found Jason, like, annoying for most of this book, because I'm like, who are you? Like, you don't know anything. I cannot connect to you because you don't even know who you are. And then I'm like, oh my god, how would I feel about, like, Percy in the same exact situation? Like, I love Percy and, like, all of his, like, I don't know, his personality and, like, his relationships, and I'm like, oh my god, like, poor Percy's, like, going through the same thing. Like, does this mean he doesn't remember Annabeth? Like, what about Grover? Like, and he's in a hostile place, most likely, and it's just,
and allegedly this camp, well, not even allegedly, this camp is more intense. They're tattooing 3-year-olds.
They're tattooing 3-year-olds.
Is Percy gonna come back with a tramp stamp? Who knows?
His mother would kill him.
His mother would reveal her own tramp stamp.
Sally Jackson is very tasteful with tramp stamp.
Sally got it the same summer in Montauk that she got Percy.
Yeah.
It's of seahorses. Julie, how do you feel about but like the structure of your podcast being like, okay, now you're going to watch the first season of the show before the second season and not like jumping into Son of Neptune yet?
I mean, I'm kind of like, I'm a little bit bummed only because I'm like, oh my god, like I want to read about Percy again. I miss Percy. Like the whole book, I'm like, it took a while for me to realize like Percy's not in this book, because I think I saw a spoiler actually that was like, Percy's not in this book or something, and I'm like, I think I texted Mal. I was like, Mal, what the fuck? Percy's not in this book at all?
A lot of people had that reaction.
Right. I'm like, I want to get back to Percy, but I'm also interested to see the show.
But what Percy are we getting back to is the question.
Exactly. Is this even the Percy we know? Speaking of Percy, I dubbed this last chapter, so that's where Percy is.
That's good. I called it The Lost Hero is Mostly Found because...
That's fun.
Oh, that's a very Rick Riordan one. Yeah, yours have been very exactly what Rick would call these, and this is me being shenanigans.
Well, because I also have been thinking about, like, what's not an obvious spoiler for Julie, because the other purpose is that, like, these are for her to make predictions. So,
okay.
Yeah. I did feel good about that one. I did like that one. The last thing I have about this book is just, like, thoughts and feelings that I've been sitting on, because...
Go for it.
I mean, like we've said, there's so much good stuff in this series, and there's so much that just, like, doesn't hit. And so I have thought so much about like what could we do to make this book more interesting, like read a little better, like because so many people online have told me like, "Oh yeah, I hated this book. I barely got through it," or like I skipped this
That's
book entirely the first time and like
How do you
crazy.
so
skip this book?
Skipping the book is insane. Are you
I,
fucking imagine? I can't. I
well,
always
some
can't say
people
what I was
skipped
about
it
to say.
unintentionally. Some of them were like, "I just picked up Son of Neptune and was like, what's going on?"
That one's fair. You get a pass.
I actually heard someone say that like they didn't read the first series and like just picked up I think Mark of
Mark is
Athena
a crazy
and were
one to
just
Damn, good
pick
luck,
up.
like
Are you
babes.
fucking kidding me?
thrown in the middle of I was like, "Are you okay?"
These books have
But
nethers
so
on the spine. You can tell they're part of a
Literally.
series.
so my thoughts on this book is kind of that it ends up overshadowed by Percy because we've
Yeah.
spent 5 books with Percy, and then you tell us in chapter 1 Percy's gone. So then you spend the whole book being like, "Where's Percy?" And you almost miss the clues that they're giving you about where Percy is because they're coming through like where Jason came from, and you're like, "I don't care about Jason, I just want to know about Percy." And so I'm like, either the book needs to be more about Percy or it needs to be less about Percy.
I actually wonder how the experience could be if you read Son of Neptune, then go back to read Lost Hero as like a prequel book in terms of like that experience, and then like, oh,
Do them
you
out of
see what
order.
happens at the end of
Oh,
Son of Neptune, and then you go
it might
back to
work.
read it, and you're like, oh, okay, so now I understand like what's going on. Instead of as much as I like a good
Interesting.
mystery, being shrouded in mystery when you're halfway through, like arguably halfway through a series, isn't fun. Especially when we again, as you said, we've been following Percy this whole time.
Yeah, so I was kind of like, what if they just didn't tell us in the start that Percy was missing? We just have this guy Jason. Maybe they even tell us that like, oh, in a couple days the schools will be on break and like Annabeth and Percy will be here and like Annabeth will know
Yeah.
what to
Yes.
do.
Yes,
And
yes,
so
yes.
we like have this promise that they're going to be here and we can kind of meet these new characters knowing that like Percy and Annabeth are going to
Yeah.
be here at the end, and then you have just Annabeth show up and be like, "Hey, Percy's gone," and then you're like, "Wait,
Yes.
dots are
I
connecting."
love that. That's such a
Yeah.
good idea.
Because it like we hear about the leader swap the whole time without knowing that Percy's missing.
Yeah, and so it's not over our. You're right, because the whole time this book is over our heads. Like, but
Yeah, we're
where's Percy? But
kind of
what's going
hoping to
on?
find Percy
Mhm.
throughout the whole book.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
the other thing. We're hoping we're going to run into Percy. Whereas if we know we'll see Percy later, we're not focused on that. And it's just not like dangling over our head like we're
Mhm.
concerned
Yeah.
about Percy because I'm worried about my boy. I love this other thing you have in the notes about how the fact that all 3 of our protagonists are
So
fish out of water
funny.
characters is just
Yes.
mistake,
That's
mistake,
yes.
mistake.
My other thing is like we either need to like it either needs to not be about Percy at all, or we need to have some characters who actually know Percy. Like I think it would be very interesting if Leo and or Piper
Yeah.
were there for the Battle of Manhattan and perhaps have like complicated relationships with Percy. Like, what if Leo blames Percy for what happened to Beckendorf? But then are we just
Yes.
redoing
That still would have been
Nico?
more interesting.
Maybe. But the one that I
Mhm.
am obsessed with, like, what if Piper knew Selena? What if she
That's the
looked up to
one.
Selena and then was struggling with this like grief for her sister who was a spy and who betrayed them,
Mhm.
but also was like the one person who was this sort of idea of Aphrodite that like she resonated with
Yeah.
versus the like other shallow kid. Like
Yes.
I want more from the Aphrodite cabinet, so I'm just like I want Piper to have known Selena.
And that's so good because then we also have the Piper's rejection of traditional femininity is not coming from a place of like, ooh, girl stuff. I'm too cool for girl stuff. It's coming from a place of mourning, where Selena was this embodiment of femininity, and these things just remind her too much of Selena. Like, Selena, Aphrodite's not around, right? Like Piper didn't have a mom to teach her how to do her
Mhm.
makeup and do her hair and paint her nails and the little tricks and your face is this shape and so this is going to look good on you and oh make sure when you're putting on your blush you always go up. You don't go down or in circles and you don't want the center of your cheeks, you want the apples of your cheeks. Like Selena's the one who taught her all of those things. And this rejection of it entirely is coming from a place of grief and trying to identify her own relationship with being a daughter of Aphrodite without this sister that she looked up to so well, who everyone in Aphrodite's cabin is just slandering her name
Mhm.
now that Drew came along and took
Mhm.
over. And I think it's because then we have a character who knows this world because it's so weird to have 3 characters who don't know this world being on the quest. Like in The Lightning Thief, we have Percy, Annabeth, and Grover. Annabeth and Grover know this world, and Percy is our POV character who we're learning it through, but we still have our guides, so things don't seem so lost. The fact that all 3 of our POV characters don't have a clue as to what's going on, and one of them doesn't even know who he is, it's just too much.
It's very, like, it feels almost disconnected from what we already have, and it makes it hard to get into these characters.
Yeah.
It's like Rick is banking too much on the fact that everyone has read the first series, which I have found out is not the case because some people just start with Heroes of Olympus.
Yeah.
And I want someone on this podcast who started with the Heroes of Olympus because, like, I'm dying to know about your reading experience because what did that look like? Just, I imagine that's wild.
Because is there enough explanation for what the camps are and why they are the way they are and how it works and the Selena of it and the Beckendorf of it, like, and the Percy of it? Like, also, is Percy's absence less intrusive if you don't know who he is?
I would assume, probably.
I think Piper being a character who is racked with grief and uncertainty and has lost a core part of her identity at the beginning of the book goes on this, and she's at school. Like, here's the thing, like, she's a kid that gets to go back to school, and we still have the same setup. She's still friends with Leo. That's Jason still shows up. It's still all that stuff, but she's just not like, I don't know anything about this world, and her arc is still refinding herself in this. And so we still get to the end where she stands up to Drew and is like, I'm not gonna let you pulling me around anymore. Like, I know who I am. I know what it means to be Aphrodite. And Selena made a mistake, but she had it better than you ever did. And that's more powerful and more impactful.
Like, I could fix her if Rick would let me. Like, if he would just let me get in there and change her story.
Rick could let me.
Let me get my hands on her.
Let me do it.
Let me at her. Great. I can fix her.
Come on. Hey, Julie, did you like The Lost Hero?
You know what? It's definitely grown on me. Like, I wouldn't say I wasn't enjoying it in the beginning.
It's a rough read at the start.
But it was a slow, like, build up, and I was just kind of like, what is going on? But, like, I'm excited for the rest of this series, mostly because I'm like, I need Percy to be okay.
It's definitely hard getting into a sequel book, regardless of what series it is. Lost Hero is a very hard book to get back into.
Glad I'm not alone. Like, this is a normal.
No, you're not alone. I think I had started it in like 7th grade, and then I didn't read it until 9th.
Even people who like it admit that it's hard.
Yes, because I liked it a lot more rereading it for this podcast, which is the same thing that happened to me with Sea of Monsters when we did it for the podcast.
Nice.
So, you know, if you hate The Lost Hero, try again.
You know what? If you don't like Heroes, give it another go. Just go at it one more time. Honestly, that reread, really nice.
Maybe read Son of Neptune's first, and then go back and read Lost Hero. Try this like Star Wars reordering thing DJ's proposed.
Well, perhaps we should stop writing fan fiction, because that's sort of what we're doing here.
Fine, but it's so
find us on AO3, where you'll find us exploring more of these ideas. No, actually, please don't find me on AO3. The fan fictions I wrote during the pandemic are embarrassing. Thank you both so much for joining us. It was a great time.
Thank you for having us. This was a blast. This is the first time we've ever got to talk about Lost Hero.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah,
we didn't. After we finished the Percy Jackson books, we jumped right into the Magnus Chase books, and then we swung over to the Kane Chronicles. So we never touched
so you're
Heroes
gonna have to
Olympus.
swing back at some point.
Not yet, no.
Cool. Would you like to plug your podcast and tell the people where they can find you?
I would love to. Dear Demigod Debut listeners, thank you so much for having us for the Lost Hero finale. This has been fun. If you liked our vibe and want to hang out with us more, we are over on Muses of Mythology, where we talk about how ancient myths have remained part of our modern pop culture through the lens of Rick Riordan's various works. What that means is we do one episode to cover the whole book, and then we go myth by myth through the following season, talking about the Minotaur and where that story came from, and the history and archaeology of it, and different ways it's told today. We do Odin. We've got Ra. Like I said, we've done Percy Jackson.
Start with our most recent episode.
You should start with our most recent episode. Don't start with the Minotaur episode. No. You should start with our most
Don't start with
recent
seasons
episode.
1 or 2. We might redo those. Okay,
We've all grown and changed.
Those are sectioned. Those are quarantined off. Okay, that happened during quarantine.
And you see, if it's called Podcast of Poseidon, you're just going to go ahead. You're going to go on to skip ahead.
I am intrigued by this Minotaur episode.
It's not that the Minotaur episode is particularly bad. It's just the simple fact that it's that era,
the
right?
Third episode
Pop
of
was
our
fun.
podcast.
Don't get me wrong. Pop was great, but Mom is way better. Okay.
So please start with the most recent episode if you want to check us out. And if you listen to the most recent episode, you're like, not for me, that's okay. You can come back here. You can bully Mal and Julie into starting a Patreon so you can listen to them more. But yeah, Muses of Mythology is on all of your favorite podcasting apps. And if it's not, go ahead and hit us up on Instagram and I'll make sure it's added. Also, if you want to watch me lip sync as different Greek gods in the most unhinged reinterpretations you've ever did see, that's also on Instagram at Muses of Myth or on YouTube. And if you thought, hey, Darien mentioned she was writing a book, I wonder if that'll ever happen. You can just follow my personal Instagram and we'll see if that ever comes to fruition.
Excellent. Well, we will catch you next time.
Bye.
Take care.
Julia, are you going to say bye?
No.
You just smiled. It's a non-visual medium.
Just snuffing out the.
This is your podcast. The listeners are here for you.
They expect too much from me. I'm going to bed. Bye.
Hi, thanks for listening. You can find links to our social media as well as the socials for Muses of Mythology in the episode description. We're going to take a week off and then I'll be making a solo episode on Court of the Dead when that comes out, and we'll both be back in October to talk about season 1 of the Disney Plus show. See you then. Bye!